your host, Joshua Pentelaresco. I write stuff and podcast too. And with me is the incredibly nervous Stephanie Galay. She's laughing at me because she's like, "Why are you doing this to me?"
Yeah.
Why not? I was always taught, the best way to deal with fear is to face it head on, right? Just acknowledge that you have whatever it is you're afraid of. And if you can do that, you can just move past it, right? So that's what I've always been taught. And, I think we can fairly say I'm pretty freaking crazy. And that's just who I am. And that's it, right? So I've learned this, like, the best way to deal with fear is to basically acknowledge the fears you might have and what might happen, accept it, and then move on. That's the way to do it. Like, there's no other way to do it. So your fear is, I'm going to make you look foolish, or you're afraid that you're going to say something that's not cool, or you're afraid you're going to say something wrong, or whatever that fear is, right?
Yeah, it's first time jitters, right?
Like, first time jitters. Well, what are you nervous about? You're awesome, right? You're a great writer, and you got a really cool book under your belt, and I mean, why would you be nervous? It's just me. Like I said, everybody knows who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I think just, first time jitters, and
never been.
It's like going to that first writers conference and feeling totally like you don't belong. And
why don't you belong here? Listen. I interviewed last like about 2 weeks ago a 10-year-old that has 2 illustrated books out. I felt really inadequate. Okay?
Oh yeah,
I felt inadequate. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Right. So in all fairness, right? It's one of those things where you just recognize that every guest is amazing. It doesn't matter who it is, what they stand for. What it comes down to is we all have something cool that we bring to the table. And one of the cool things about this show is everybody I bring's got something really cool to the table to bring, including you. So not only do you belong here, you should be here, and you should have been here a long time ago. So what took you so damn long?
I don't know. Life, and I guess just, it takes a long time to kind of make yourself believe that, you fit, you should. And, the first year after publishing was pretty slow. So it's, I've kind of pulled up my socks the last little bit and gone, okay, well, if I'm going to make a go of this, I got to make a go of this. So I got to do all the things. And so this is the start of that.
Doing all the things. Well, for starters.
Yes.
Right. Writing is the one real sense. I'm not saying writing's easy. It's not.
No.
But in one sense, it's the easy part. Because, see, you're in your own little head. You can make your own little worlds up. But you gotta meet people. That's just the way it is. The problem, you see, is actually not you. It's me. See, I have a big, obnoxious mouth. And I will talk to people about how awesome my stuff is. It's what I do. And as a result... But the problem is, see, I'm not the only one that does this. There's lots of people with these really giant, big mouths that will talk about their stuff and why it's awesome. So good writing definitely will keep them there like that. But the thing is, you gotta go like this. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you live from Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. She is the great, the one and only author of Evergreen, Stephanie Galay. And this might sound incredibly silly to you, but here's the thing, right? If you're not willing to toot your own horn, why would anybody else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of the thing. It's not that. So that's the thing. Like, as a writing the book is easy. I have my book out there. Hooray! Why is nobody else cheering?
Yeah.
Come on, cheer. Come on, right? But you gotta recognize. You have to recognize the fact that there's a lot of people that make amazing things,
Mm-hmm.
and what it really comes down to, like when I work with enthusiastic people, I can't help but be enthusiastic with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta find that enthusiasm about your stuff. Like, why is this awesome and made of cheese? Like, I mean, you know, that's what you gotta look at, right?
Yeah.
Sounds silly as hell, but, it's how, if you're excited, you give people a reason to at least look at it.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, it has to be good, and that's where the good writing and editing and all that other wonderful fun stuff comes into play. It's got to be good.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful little but. You have to believe it yourself.
Yeah, you do. And that's a hard thing. That's been a really hard thing for me to do, is to I guess accept from people like yourself, friends, my editors, the people I've met through all the writing conferences, is to, you know, believe them when they say, yeah, that's really good.
It is
You
really
know,
good.
and accept that, you know, and believe it myself. I think that's the hardest part for me.
Well, it's funny because so folks, full disclaimer here. I actually did proofing on her last book. I proofed it. I didn't actually edit it because I was really uncomfortable. It's like, what the heck am I doing trying to edit this book? Right. Also, like, not so secretly, I think Jonas edited it. And it was really funny to
He was one of my editors on
actually
it.
read
Yeah.
what he did to your book after he touched it. It's like, it was really clean. Like, honestly, there wasn't much, but what he did made me kind of go, okay, I know what his weaknesses are now. But I'm just being honest. Yeah, I mean, you're right, great. And I say that even just as somebody, not just as someone that when you were a client, but also just someone just like, you are a good writer. You wrote a really good book. I enjoyed it as much as you know, as much as it was a job, it was a very enjoyable job. You wrote a really good story.
Oh, thank you. I
So,
was really thrilled to hear your comments and
yes.
get your feedback on it. It was, you know, and that's, I think part of my biggest thing is that I have so quickly become friends with everybody that I've met in the industry. Um, you know, through all the conferences that we've been to together, and you know, I feel like those connections are really solid and really honest. And so I think for me, it becomes almost like, oh, well, these are my friends that are telling me that it's good. So I feel like they have a little bit of bias. So it's, for me now, with the anniversary coming up, as you know, with it being published, I finally put it out on Amazon October of last year. And we talked, I'm wanting to do a little bit of a reboot for it, a relaunch. Hoping to be able to do a public event. We're still working on that one. But so now I'm like, okay, now I got to figure out all this marketing stuff. Now I got to figure out how to, you know, create the hype. I've had the reviews on it. So,
All right. You want to talk some fun marketing stories from my little journey along the way? Because I can teach you some.
yeah.
I can teach you some horrible things from my failures and successes, and kind of just give you some ideas of what to look at. Actually, you know what I'll do is just for you. I'll tell you about my first book signing, my very first one.
Oh yeah.
So marketing. Yeah, that's right, Jag. Marketing. I think you're going to appreciate this. Hi. Hi, this is Jag Trust. Jag, this is Stephanie Galay. She's a great writer. I actually edited one of her books, mostly actually, to be perfectly honest, I proofed it more so than edited it. So, here's the thing, right? Here was my first signing. This was my very first signing. I was 23, 24 years old. I had published a book at like I published a book I actually don't even advertise anymore. It was just my first. It was my first book of poetry. The reason why poetry has always been big was it seemed like an easy investment, all things considered. So I did everything wrong, like absolutely everything wrong you possibly. I barely advertised it. I barely did. And the store was in like this isolated little. It's in a neighborhood in Calgary called Kensington. So there's this. So back then there was this like herbal shop, this aromatherapy shop. It was buried in this like little corner. My dad was friends with the owner. She let me do a signing there. So I did everything wrong. But I did one thing right, and I learned. And this is honestly the biggest lesson I've learned. I apply it to marketing every time I do marketing, and that's this. Okay, so this store was in this bad location. So how am I going to get people to come to this location? Was my big question. So what I did was, I had the guy that was there. We printed out these giant arrows and we taped them to the sidewalk. People followed the arrows.
Yes, they do.
Names. You didn't put any names on it. Didn't put any clues. Right? You just did it. You just absolutely did it. And I learned this is the most important lesson I have always learned with marketing. And Jag, out of all people, will love this. Make it a game. Make it interactive. Because if you make it interactive, you're going to encourage that connection, and people are going to, at the very least, want to know what the heck you're doing. Game theory. So, marketing is really two things. It's game theory and storytelling. For example, here's what I would do for you if I was doing an event. What I would do is your story, because Evergreen is really about this horror city trapped in kind of like this curse, right? Yeah, girl on the book cover is a good one, right?
Right.
Here's what I would do in Cologne. I would find the spookiest part of the city and make it an outdoor event and haunt that and invite everybody to go get haunted and spooked and thing. You have two things working for you. People want shit to do because there's not. Yeah. This isn't. Like, this is still a lame-ass time for most of us, number one. But number two, right, it could be a lot of fun. If you could add, like, a Halloween theme to it,
yeah,
right, it would be a lot of fun. You get to hang out with the community. And it's outdoors. So as far as, like, you know, mandatory crap, it's very minimal. You can actually have an event. And you guys are actually warm enough where it should be, barring, like, a rainstorm, it should be good. It should be very good. So all of this to say, it's like, that's like in your position, that's what I would do. I would try to find like this creaky, crappy house that people maybe have holes in it somewhere and have people come to get haunted while you do like a reading somewhere in between. Maybe wear some kind of like witch's costume or be some kind of undead demon or a representation of your evil curse in some form or fashion. And come out there and do a reading. I think people would like love it right now.
Yeah, you just gave me a really good idea, actually. Yeah. Really good idea.
Yeah, and that's what marketing is. Marketing isn't like hard. It's not. It's storytelling. It's all. Marketing is, okay, why is my book awesome and made of cheese? Well, my book is awesome because it's a horror story. Kind of has like this in her story. Her book has a bit of what I call a bit of an older Buffy vibe is what I call it. It has that, right? It has that little thing to it, and it's a fun read. So I mean, make your marketing reflect the book. Make it a haunted, fun read with a little bit of like that Buffy-esque kind of thing going. So you can make the crowd in your generation that actually gets Buffy.
Yeah,
they'll be into it, right? And it'll be just, and it's not hard. Have some fun.
Yeah, that sounds like. And actually, I have a really great idea in my head now. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And you're hired, by the way.
That's right, Josh. Coming soon to market near you. Anyways, no, that's it. Like, it's not. It's about making it fun. It's really, that's what it's all about. Like, okay, why would I want to read your book? Because what is it? It is a horror / fantasy / like fuck
Yeah,
you.
I'd like to call it a supernatural thriller.
There you go. So you see, you're good with words. I'm just throwing it off the top of my head here, right? So you got a supernatural thriller that's kind of got like a really cool little romantic vibe to it, and you got like and you got like magic and supernatural stuff happening all around it. So
Yeah,
it's fun. So make it fun, and you're relaunching in October. Guess what? It's Halloween. Take
yeah,
advantage of that,
yeah,
right? I'm not sure I would go with a mask theme just because, frankly, I don't know about you, but I'm sick of masks. So I don't know if that'd be that's very um I
yeah.
don't know if
No
that
masks.
yeah maskless a maskless costume thing would be kind of fun. But
Yeah,
I mean that's it. Like you find the things that make things fun and you just do them. And even if nothing else happens, right? You had a
yeah.
good time. You got people to come out and have it so so more recent book signing. I had my sister host the book signing and interview me on the air, and she decided to put like these weird things. One of the things was sounding like a goldfish.
Okay. Didn't really.
I drew that.
How do
I
you do
drew it
that?
out of a hat, and I had to do it. Right, so it's like, what the hell? Like I looked at it, it's like, what the hell is this? My sister's evil. Just guys, she's evil, right? But doesn't that sound fun?
Yeah, yeah. That's. I don't know what a goldfish even sounds like. So
It can be anything you want. That was the part that really get me. It's like she goes, "Here, goldfish actually makes no sound, so you can make it anything you want." She goes, "Hey, and she actually did like a fun little thing. Anyone that watched that had a blast. Like just had a sincere blast. It was fun. Like, and it was a small group but a dedicated one, and that's all you can really ask for, right? So
yeah, yeah, for sure.
you're like, I don't know what
So,
else to say.
I don't.
What do you want to talk about, Steph? Like we can talk about anything you want here. We got like 43 minutes here. So let's make this
43
like
minutes. Okay.
42. Don't count.
Yeah, I don't know.
I,
The book, I guess.
Okay. Before we get to your book, let's back the truck up here.
Okay. Should we talk about how we met?
We can talk about that too if you want. But why don't we do it like this though? Because there's something I like. Do you still feel imposter syndrome when you're dealing with all these people? Do you still have that in the back of your head?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why?
At times, definitely.
Why?
Well, I think everybody does.
A little bit, but specifically you. I want to hear your take on it.
I don't know if it's necessarily imposter syndrome that I'm feeling, but I feel like I've had a really anticlimactic sort of just overall sense since I published. I don't know. I think I read, you see all these pictures and all these videos of people online when they get their proofs and when they finally get published and stuff like that, and I never had that oh my god I'm published feeling. So I guess sometimes I feel like I've done something wrong, or just missed something along the way maybe, and but yeah, it never hit me like, wow, I'm a published author. Like, I don't know.
There could be a couple reasons behind that. So let's get rid of some of the existential stuff that it could be. You haven't been able to do what we would call a normal book launch. You couldn't go to the local bookstore there, which I'm hoping is still there because that was amazing.
It is.
Yeah, it was amazing. Also the older vintage stuff, which I'm not allowed to go in unsupervised. It's also a coffee shop. I'm not allowed to go in there unsupervised. I'm not. I walked in last time I was in Kelowna going on my way to Vancouver. Oh my God. I saw so much stuff there. It's like I can't come in. Why? My money was on fire. Just like
Yeah.
totally. Like Kelowna, Jag, if you're listening, Kelowna is one of the most book friendly places in the country. The only one I know it's friendly there is, believe it or not, is Winnipeg. right? It's just such
Wow.
a really, really cool feeling going out there and just um it's just like these are people that love like the good stuff, and I'm talking like the good. Oh yeah, no, yeah, no. Kelowna is one of the places you need as a book person you need to go to. But thing is, you haven't been able to do those things. I don't know how you've been to seeing your friends in this time. At this point in the ball game, we've all, I think, have gotten to the point where we're bending the rules, if not outright breaking them. Um,
I'll never tell.
yeah, it's okay. It's good. And we're just at that. We're just at that point. And
Yeah.
so, all of which to say that, how do I put this? Even with that, though, it's not the same as being able to do a book event or a conference or something where you can actually interact with a readership. And that might be part
Yeah.
of it. Is that, am I right on that?
Yeah, it was, because it was 2020, so it was like right in the height of, everything. And I was working from home and doing this in the evenings and stuff like that, and it was like, okay, well, push print on that, and okay, well, it's published now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the other thing too. Publishing is not the super hard road it is now. It's just you press a button. Hey, I'm published.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
Right? That's it. Hey, I'm published. That's all it takes. So it doesn't quite have the same like bam it did like back in the early 2000s because it's so easy to do. That
yeah,
doesn't mean it doesn't mean putting a book together isn't, again, saying like I said earlier. Um, it's not like it's easy, but once you've created it, it's not. There's no such thing as an unreachable goal with publishing. So
yeah,
you're missing that. You are missing like that reader gratification, and I'm not sure when or if. I think we're all gonna have to make the decision at some point. Like we're done with this. Fuck it. I'm going back. I'm going back to hanging out with people again, and that's pretty much all there is to it. But whenever that is, that all said, so that's 1 and 2. How about this? There's a third part too. I mean, this could be just you being smart about it because you realize that the work hasn't really begun yet. You have to advertise your stuff all the time.
yeah. And I think the other thing too for me was I've always, when it comes to my writing, um, I've always really needed that sort of completely unbiased. Uh, oh, geez,
It's okay.
can't think of the word. I kind of like verification from outside sources that are completely
That
unbiased.
outside like gratification of knowing someone likes your stuff. And that's harder
Yeah,
to do, and it's harder to have that eye contact and say, "Hey, oh my god, I really loved your book." Like that
yeah,
is a cool feeling.
yeah.
Like that is a very cool feeling.
And not going. I made a conscious decision that I didn't want to go through the traditional publishing route just because I didn't have the patience at the time to go through, to slog and be submitting and tracking and all the rest of it. I didn't have it in me at the time, but it was, something my parents had sort of said to me was, you you need to just publish it. You need to just get it done and move on so that you can do something else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they were really right about that. I've been working on this book for over 20 years by the time I published it. So, the first pages were written when I was like 19 or 20 or something like that. And so it had so much off and on time that by the time it was done, and it was just like almost like, okay, let's just get this done already. Like, let's just get this over with. I just need to do this.
So can I
And
ask another question? Just just
mhm.
just a personal one here. Have you worked on anything else since?
I have a little bit.
Okay.
I've got a couple of different, I have two actually very different projects that are on the go. I haven't been able to do a lot of writing just because of other life stuff that's been going on, and I just haven't been able to get into that space where I need to be creative. So, yeah.
Okay. So I want to touch on something Jag just said. The amount of times, it's a very different book from that point. Like the amount of times you've written. So Jag, I'm going to pick on you. Is the book you're working on something you're working on from high school? She'll.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because you're
I can
absolutely
relate
right.
to that comment
Sure.
about
Okay.
rewriting.
Sure. Okay. It's not. No. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can relate
good.
to that.
Okay.
How many times you've rewritten, because I think I, did probably 5 or 6 major overhauls with Evergreen.
Like oh, okay. Fair enough, Jack. Fair enough. Agnes to be nothing. Okay. Fair enough. No. I just wanted to ask. We just clarify this because I wanted to talk about this a little bit with her, and maybe I get the last fear. And it's like I just want to see if you had something in common. If you didn't, that's fine. We can always do other things. No, how do I put this? Okay, so I have a novel. I have a couple broken novels, what I call from my high school days. I've written them. I'll never show them the light of day. One I rewrote to death. I killed it, rewrote it to get to death. I think we all can. We all can. But I did kind of want to talk about this because, so I have a theory. Is that you have, unless your book is like this epic series, you have 3 years to finish a book.
Mm.
After about 3 years, your voice changes, your experiences change.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion, my theory. After about 3 years, you're a different person on the page, right? And no, and the reason I say that is because I broke my novel, right? I broke my novel, and then when I went back to fix it, I couldn't fix it. Not because I didn't have the technical know-how, I knew too much.
Right.
I knew too much. So Jag, to make it like that, like what happens is there comes a point with writers, we tend to level up. Even if we don't have a crap ton of practice with words, our voice changes with our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when that happens, you don't have the same, you cannot approach the story the same way because you're not that person anymore.
Yeah.
You're someone else. Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't themes of things I wrote in high school that are still prevalent in my stuff. So I care about, it's surprising how much of the same things you end up caring about.
Yeah.
Right? But how you think about it is a lot different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I say all that to kind of go with this. You spent how many years on this book?
Way too many.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it was probably from when I made the serious conscious decision to actually finish writing it to the time it was published, I'm going to say probably 8 years.
Okay. That's still a significant investment of time, effort, and energy. And honestly, for anybody listening, Evergreen's a great book. You should definitely take a look at it. And it has nothing to do with the fact that I have a little tiny part involved in this, seeing it through to the end. Honestly, to be fair, when I got the book, it was one of the cleanest things I've ever read, ever. Wow. It was super clean. Stephen King is cleaner. That was about it. Again, I had one section that I actually went to. It's you should fix this. That was literally it. It's like there's one section in the whole book. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
But all of that to say though, you put 8 years into it. Now again, there's no set time to write a book. I say 3 years because for me, I'm just I care about more stuff in some ways, less stuff in others. I become a different person. But that kind of dedication is, again, not unheard of either. There's Harper Lee. like Harper Lee is an excellent example of someone that takes a long time to put a book together.
Mm.
But that all said, there's a now what kind of a thing too. Like you start something new, but it's like, oh my god, I have 8 years into this. I don't want to put another 8 years into this.
Yeah, exactly. Like I have a project that is screaming at me, and it's sort of again, it's going to be a supernatural thriller kind of a deal. Maybe not quite so much of a thriller as Evergreen, but it's kind of a supernatural twist on Hotel California. And
oh no.
And so it's been bugging at me. The problem is I got it half written through the very first NaNoWriMo I ever decided to do about 3 years ago. And it just so happened that at that time I was going through some major treatment for a car accident I had been in, and the injections I was receiving were causing me so much pain I physically couldn't write anymore.
Okay.
So now I have this half-written project on a USB stick that is broken. The USB is broken. Mm-hmm. So I have to try and figure out a way how to get all that data back. So I'm like, I really want to do this project, but I really want all the stuff.
Oh, I guess I get that.
So writing in a short period of time, definitely better, because then, less chance that kind of stuff is going to happen.
It is possible. Like Jagged actually is possible, but we're I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I mean, and maybe issue throw a challenge your way. Let's say you can't do it. Yeah. Well, actually, let's answer some Jags. Do you have earlier backups somewhere else?
I've looked. So far, I haven't been able to find anything that's to the extent that I know I was. I found a couple, but they're really short.
All right.
But it's a place to start.
It's a place to start. Okay. Because I've lost. So my first novel, I lost it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I know this. No, actually, Jag, it doesn't. That's the thing about this kind of thing. It doesn't become a blank slate at all. It goes the opposite way, because you know what the story beats are. They don't escape. Like, you know what they are. They're still in your head. They're still kind of right there.
Yeah.
So they're not a blank slate. However, there is an opportunity that's almost blank slate. This is kind of my challenge to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would suck to redo the whole. That's where I was getting to.
Yeah.
Where I was getting to. It's the fact is 3 years have passed.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to tell the story the exact same way if you were to start today.
No.
Why not?
For sure.
Why not see? What I would tell you is, why not just do it and see? This is what I would do. I would write a couple chapters, 2. Read them. If you like what you're doing, keep going and don't worry about the drafts. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. You've created it once, so it's like creating like the mold of making a book once. And once you do that, it's easier to do more. But I'm gonna that's my challenge to you. Write 2 chapters. Read them. If you had anyone that read the earlier version of it, have them read it too, right? Because then you can ask yourself, okay, is it better?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, just keep going. Sometimes when these things happen, there's like, it's not always a bad. It's like, oh no, all that stuff I put together, fuck. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, well, I'm not beholden to anything anymore. And I still have the story beats in my head.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and it was just a first draft, so there is that.
I'm just saying, like I got to go back to a draft. Like I'm almost done Alice 1, and I'm kind of seeing how my moving situation works. I might have to push back the date to Alice 1 by a few weeks, just because just my current living situation. I'm trying to get to where I want to be before the backs passes start, because that's going to get weird. No matter what happens, that's going to get weird for a while.
Yeah.
And so I want to go kind of where I want to go. But once I'm settled in, I'm going to publish Alice 1. And then I get to go back on my previous book, Lights Out. And yeah, I'm drawing it. I'm changing some of the chapters into different kinds of mediums to tell the story.
Right.
Because I've given it a few months to kind of just proliferate while I'm just doing other things, right? And yeah, so basically it's just like you have an opportunity here because you've had so much time to pass to do the same story in a different way.
Yeah.
I think you should see what that different way goes to first before you make that decision. I'm going to hunt this down because honestly, why hold yourself back?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. And, I mean, I think one of the other things that I've been struggling with as well is I have such a need to. I'm a bit of a perfectionist at heart, so probably why you felt that the draft of Evergreen that you got was so clean. I need it to be perfect. I need it to be well written. I need it to be, the story that readers want to read, and not have to. So I struggle with all these different elements of the story and the grammar and the structure all at the same time. And so for me, that's I think a hurdle that I'm going, as I progress through this journey I'm on, is learning how to put that away and just get it out as fast as I possibly can. Because the longer I spend stuck in any one element, the worse it gets, and the better it gets. Like, it might be clean, but it might be really crappy writing.
So I'm going to talk about George R. R. Martin today, because that's right. The novelist, not the show. The novelist. Yeah. So I accidentally met George R. R. Martin, or actually,
accidentally. How do you accidentally meet somebody?
I was going to play in the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. This is back in the days when I was playing card games. And Spider Robinson was supposed to be the guest of honor. Now, this was years before I met Spider. And he had to pull out for various reasons. I don't know. But he got his buddy, who at the time had only written 3 books. Storm of Swords this was when Storm of Swords had just come out. George R. R. Martin filled in for him. I've never wanted to lose a tournament so fast. I just didn't care. George R. R. Martin is reading from his next Feast of Crows inside. I don't fucking care. Just beat me so I can go. Right? So, right, that's where I was at. And so I lost. I bought a bunch of George R. R. Martin books. I went to this reading, and that's how I met George R. R. Martin, is because I just happened to be in the same hotel as a sci-fi convention. Now, he would know who I was from Adam, because I was just some fanboy playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I wasn't there prepared at all. I had like hardcovers at home. I was so sad. But on the other hand, I was so happy too, because I have these autographed paperbacks now.
Right.
Right. So, but all of which to say that, like, sometimes you just run into people. But George R. R. Martin, like, he was he was doing his whole panel. He goes, "You don't want to hear my book progressions at all." Because I was like, one day I wrote 2,000 words in this chapter, hooray! And then the next day, I thought this was total garbage, and just I deleted those 2,000 words. And then you know what? There's 1,000 words I didn't like here. I got rid of that too.
Yeah.
Right? But that's how you're right. He's such a perfectionist with his words that it takes him forever to write. Now, does he have to write another novel again in the Game of Thrones universe? Probably not, now that the television show is finished. I hope so, because the ending sucked. But I mean,
I think we can all agree with that.
Yeah, right. I hope so. But he's in no hurry anymore because for the most part the story is there. At least the most part. Not all of it, but the most part. So, but prior to that, like he's like, perfection is such, like, it's not just him. Pat Rothfuss struggles with this. Right? There are a lot of authors. They're trying to do like just the right words.
Yeah.
Now I'm somewhere kind of in the other spectrum. Well, anyway, you had something you wanted to say, so let's
I was just gonna say, oh, you know what? I forgot. Never mind.
If it comes back to you, you can interrupt me, okay?
It probably won't.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite actual albums is the self-titled Finger 11 album. And here's the thing about that I really got, and taught me something about audio. Errors feel natural. Actually, they feel very, very natural. It's when it's too perfect, it takes people out of the experience, right? So I'll give you an example. So the one song where you can hear a clear, well, there's two. One thing, probably one of their most famous songs, the singer was drunk. He was absolutely drunk when they got him really, really hammered before he sang it. But the other one, the other big song on there was called "Good Times." Now here's the thing: if you listen to it, you can actually hear in the album where he busts his lip, like he bites his lip by accident when he's singing. You can hear the blood. No, you can literally hear the blood in right? You will not notice it unless you look for it.
Right.
Right? And that's the thing. Like we don't live in a world of perfection. We live in a world of change. And the thing about that, what that actually means is that errors are not only part of the process, but to some degree it should be expected. Like there's a fine line there. Like there is a really fine line there. If you go like too much where I don't care, leave it as is, you get Robert Heinlein's like post Stranger in a Strange Land novels, and you don't want that. Their polish has its place.
Yes.
Right. But there is also sometimes leaving small. No matter how perfect you make something, there's those small little imperfections. Sometimes it's okay to leave a few in on purpose.
Yeah.
Right? Because it actually, believe it or not, feels more natural than if it is actually perfect. Which is a weird thing, but it's true. None of us are perfect. Right? It like seriously. Sometimes something can go wrong. Like I wouldn't know what to do if everything went exactly right for one day. Like I'm serious. Like if something didn't get stuck, or I didn't ding myself on the bed, or I sound like a freaking natural disaster. But it's just the way it is, right?
Yeah.
But even with prose, you don't have to be perfect with it. You just have to evoke a feeling with it.
Yeah. But it's interesting that you talk about that. I had there's actually a couple of lines in Evergreen where my brain was going faster than my fingers, and something came out backwards, and when I reread it, I was like, oh, I should fix that. And I went, nope, I'm going to leave it. This character's drunk. He probably is going to be screwing up his words. So I left it. And I think somebody picked up on it and was like, don't you mean this? And I went, yeah, but I think it's better wrong. Yeah. So I left it. And I think when I read through it after I like printed copies and finally said, okay, I should sit down and actually read this cover to cover, because I had spent so much time on it. I don't know that I ever had read cover to cover the finished product. So I read through it and I was like, that part actually made me laugh. So it was like, yeah.
No, perfection, too much of it is an enemy, because it actually ruins a very natural feel, right? When we screw up, when I used to do the shows just in audio, I would leave a lot of mistakes in on purpose. All right. My favorite one, I did an interview with Con Lavery. And there's literally like 10 minutes of us walking from one restaurant to the other. I actually left it in because it was just, it felt so real. I also leave in when waiters and waitresses would come up to us for drinks and stuff like that, because again, it adds a character to this conversation that otherwise wouldn't be there, right?
Yeah.
Right. And also it takes away that it adds a certain authenticity, right? So Stephanie Galay has a voice that is unique to her. It will never be perfect, no matter how refined she gets. And don't get me wrong, she takes meticulous care of her craft. Like I said, some of the cleanest prose I've ever read has come from you. But there is a point when all of us, now maybe I don't go far enough, and this is something I'm going to have to think about when I work on the next project, not this one, but the next one, right? But it's like, okay, there's something to that, but there again, people don't want perfect prose. They want your story and how you tell it, and you gotta make that real. You have to make that real decision on what that actually is. Sometimes that perfect phrase is not actually what's needed there. Sometimes you just need to say something that comes out cockeyed that makes you laugh, because that's the truth. That is more the truth.
Yeah. So no, it's definitely, I feel like I've learned so much in the last 4 years, I guess, really. And sometimes I have to kind of just try and hold myself back and be like, okay, it just, like everybody says, just spit out that first draft, just make it word vomit, just get it on paper, because you don't have anything until you have that. And so that's a huge lesson that I've learned, but it's also my biggest hurdle right now, is just getting the words on the paper. So
one sentence at a time.
Yeah.
All right, that's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
Stephen King has like some of the best writing, but 500 words a day is a novel at the end of the year. It takes 10 months, but you get there.
Yeah.
Right? Put out 500 words.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it starts, this is my 500 crappy words today. I'm going to put 500 words. Okay? Yeah. Get to the end.
1, 2,
500
3,
words. And then you just delete all that and you do it again next day. Just do
Yeah.
Right? And then some days you'll do more. Some days you'll do less. You don't have to be a slave to a word count. Word count helps, I think, when you get started, for sure. But there comes a point, it's like, I only wrote 100 words today. Okay. I wrote 2,000 words today. That's cool. I wrote 10,000 words. What the hell did I do today? This is amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't
write. I could do that every day.
I didn't write today. I played video games. Okay. I can do that once. That's okay.
Yeah.
I can't do it every day, because then I'm just a lazy fuck, but I can do it once.
Yeah.
Right?
I do like NaNoWriMo for that, just for the simple fact that it's like, you have a goal, a 30-day goal, and, everybody wants to reach that goal, no matter how competitive you are or aren't. So, yeah.
No. The NaNoWriMo doesn't work for me. I tend to get to about 10,000 words and then I quit.
I never finished. And then I didn't do it last year, but when I was able to sit down and write every day, it was a really good thing for me, just to be okay. It's only 2,600 words a day and you got your 50,000. Okay, well, you know, I missed it by 500 or 1,000 yesterday. So, well, today I'm having a really good day and, I'm picking it up and I have that many words less that I have to write every day now. So it's,
There you
yeah,
go.
thank
That's the
you.
number.
1667, not 2,600. My math is not good either.
I can't count. Leave me alone. I can't count.
Yeah,
I remember Roth just wrote about Ryan 1 year, and he felt really bad because he had he was going very, very slow compared to other people. One person, yeah, you gotta put the real effort into it. Now, excuse me, while I go play Skyrim. He's like, okay, I don't know what made me feel bad, that she already finished her book or that she was just playing Skyrim and still kicking my ass, right?
Jeez.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes sometimes his writing's fantastic. Sometimes I think it's doesn't quite hit the mark, but you know what? It works for him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and oh, that's right. Jax is Scorpio. Hank Scorpio's evil, conniving sister. And if you don't know who Hank Scorpio is, it's okay, folks. I'm old. Shut up. Right? Right. No, Roth is. Dag knows who I'm talking about, though. Does Stephanie know who I'm talking about?
No.
Oh. So you're not a Simpsons fan, then, I take it.
Not from where?
The Simpsons fan.
Oh, not for a really long time.
This is old school Simpsons. This isn't new school Simpsons. This is old school Simpsons. So Homer gets this job because he's like the next most senior guy. He goes to this town. His boss is a supervillain. His boss is a legitimate supervillain. His name is Hank Scorpio. And it's hilarious. It is one of the coolest things ever because Homer's good at his job. He doesn't do a ton, but what he does for Hank is amazing. Now, nobody else in the family loves this place. This doesn't work for them, but Homer is great, right? And just one of those things where he's got this eccentric boss that's trying to take over the world, and you literally see him tackle a Sean Connery look-alike and for James Bond and get the classic Simpsons stuff is still hilarious. It is still some of the, and honestly, that's probably in the top 10 best episodes ever too. It's one of the 10 best episodes of The Simpsons. It's in my top 10 anyway, just because it is just so ridiculous and funny. And God, The Simpsons sucks now. God, does it suck now.
Yeah, I haven't watched Simpsons in a really long time.
Or have I? I have no desire to. It's no longer good. It hasn't been good. It's. I don't follow Grounding for making The Simpsons every year. They pay him stupid money. I'd do it too. I'm that kind of hooker. I admit it. But nah. Wow. Yeah. So that's cool. Hank Scorpio reference on my show.
Wow.
Yes.
That is now that you say it, now that you say the name that way, recalling a little bit, but
guy with the beard. Yeah. They said the
Hammock Corner.
Yeah, it's old, but it's good shit, right? It was good shit. My all-time 2 favorite episodes of The Simpsons, I will say, is Sideshow Bob is the mayor, and the monorail. And the monorail is also one of my that episode is. The monorail is amazing because it's got everything you could possibly imagine in The Simpsons in it. But I also just love that Sideshow Bob was the mayor making the Matlock Expressway. It makes me laugh in ways I just cannot help myself.
Yeah.
I'm a deranged man. It's just the way it is. I'm a deranged man.
Well, at least you can admit it.
Oh, totally. Hey, listen, man. We all gotta think like I can tell you're a big Buffy fan. I could tell when I read your stuff, it's Once Upon a Time, it's you were big into Buffy.
I was, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What was did you like the movie, or are you that kind of fan, or is it just the series?
I did like the movie, which I think is why I started watching the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that takes me way back. I mean, I can remember like, you know,
Yeah.
I can't even remember how old I was at the time. Young.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it would like come on at like 11 o'clock and my husband would just be getting home from work and we'd lie in bed and watch Buffy. Like it was just you know.
Here's the thing I remember about the movie. Pee Wee Herman dying. I don't know why. He's a character that just would just talk, like go into great deal. Like he's just die slowly and talk about it the whole time. I remember that from the movie. That's about it. Right? That's about it from the movie, but that's what I remember about it. And it's just like, the show, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I only really like 2 seasons of the show.
Oh, my puppy just came in.
Hello, puppy.
I don't know how she got in here, but we just got a puppy.
Oh, well, introduce the puppy.
She's a giant puppy.
A giant puppy. Uh-oh.
A giant puppy.
That is a giant puppy. That's a puppy? Oh, boy.
Yes, this is Flower.
Hi, Flower.
Say hi, Flower. She is a Mastiff Rottie Cross, and she's not quite 4 months old, and I think she's 40 pounds. So
That's going to be a big dog. A big, strong dog.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah. But she's adorable.
Yeah. So. No. Some of the big dogs can be really, really cool. I remember a buddy of mine, they had a half Labrador, half wolf. That was an amazing dog. That was an amazing dog. Big dog, strong dog. The only problem was they didn't have enough space for that dog. That dog needed to run. That dog was built to run, man. Holy cow. As she's getting mauled by her giant puppy on the air, ladies and gentlemen. But what I was going to say,
allowed up here either. So
yeah. What I was going to say before puppy came in and say hi, Flower. We're just going to say that again on the air. That's right. Anything can happen on Just Joshing. Anything. What I was going to say. I think for me, the big thing was for me. I saw Buffy after I saw Babylon 5 and Deep Space Nine. Oh. So I've never. Jag's gonna kill me. It's not in my top 10 shows. It's just not. It's a good. It's for what it is. It's really good. I think. My favorite 2 episodes in the series are the mimes where no one spoke, and Once More with Feeling. I thought those 2 episodes are super, super good.
Yeah.
There's some fun ones, like John Ritter is as the obnoxious dude. Right? What? What, Jag? It's true. It was not my series. There were some cool things about it, and they had a great cast and a crew. But the silent episode was great. Like I really dug it. Right? No, it was super well done. I really loved Once More with Feeling because it's just like, okay, that was such a creatively fun. Although the only thing I didn't like about that was the villain's defeat was very lame. Like he didn't really lose. Like he was just one of those like, oh, the singing's over, so I guess the bad guy just disappears. Yeah, the musical is fantastic. Yeah. Once More with Feeling is definitely there. I love Evil John Ritter. Evil John Ritter was awesome. Seasons 4 and 5, I think, are the best 2 seasons of Buffy. I think they're the best 2. Season 6 is to me very meh. It's like there's the musical episode aside. And season 7, it's like it wasn't my show. It was just it was a show I recognized as a good show, right? As a good show, but not my show. Like Deep Space Nine is my show, and it's a good show. Babylon 5 is my show, and it's a good show. And after that, you know.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Hey, get. Hey, she's okay. She was just.
I know, but she's not supposed to.
It's okay.
Enough.
Hi, Stephanie's husband.
Bye, Flower.
Bye, Flower. No,
Yeah,
I bring all this up. Just no, like yeah, season 7 had a couple things going for it, but it just wasn't. It was. I shrugged. I shrugged. It was they were wrapping it up. You could tell they were wrapping it up, but at the same time, it was just like the gravitas of. I think season 5 or up until the point Buffy dies is Buffy at its best probably is 3, 4, 5 are the best seasons. There's some good episodes in 6 and 7. It's definitely worth watching, but it's not my thing. Like I would go with like again, Deep Space Nine was my thing. I love that show.
Deep
Babylon
Space Nine was
5,
good.
yeah, Babylon 5 was my show, and all the things that Buffy did that were really good and awesome and clever. Babylon 5 or DS9 did it first. All of it.
Yeah, and I think that it definitely had its time and place.
Mm-hmm.
For me. I've tried rewatching some of the episodes, and I just find it just dated almost.
So, Jag, to answer your question, I like the first 2 seasons of Angel. I like the first 2.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about anything past that though. And that's just I think I like the idea of Fred is actually my favorite character in is the puppy back for some more?
Yes.
So
Go on.
you can't win with the dog.
I can't.
Yeah. So the answer to your question, Jag, I like Fred as a character. I thought Fred was an interesting idea. I enjoyed. There were some things about Angel that was really, really interesting, but I kind of felt it was a little too derivative of Buffy. There wasn't like it was like Buffy said something. Yeah. No, I actually no. It's not okay. So the reason why I didn't like I didn't mind season 1. But there's always a point in a series where it's about finding the voice, right, of the show, whatever that voice is. Buffy season 1 has some great moments in it, but I don't really think the season as a whole is really good. It has moments, but it's not good. Season 2, there are definitely things I like. I love Faith. I love the evolution of an evil Slayer concept. Right, I love the evil Slayer concept that was kind of introduced with her. I liked the bad guy I think the evil mayor was an interesting idea. I think that was season 2's villain. It could have been season 3's, but season 3, Faith is fantastic, right? Faith is absolutely fantastic, Jag. There's no doubt about it. But when you get to seasons 3. The show's firing on all cylinders. Everybody's got a role. Everybody, like you could feel like they know what they're doing. They feel very confident in where the show's going. And you can look at seasons 4 and 5, like Buffy Apex. Everything in the show is just nailing it. And the cliffhanger in season 5 was amazing. But then afterwards, like they couldn't top what they did in season 5. So I can get, Alicia Dushku. It's Dushku. Duskhu. That's how you spell her name, Jag. That's how you do it. But but no, like it wasn't that I hated Angel. It was more the fact that I like as a show, Buffy didn't really find its legs until the 3rd season, in my opinion. And as far as Angel goes. Right. I thought the first 2 seasons were neat because, again, differentiating from Buffy a little bit. But ultimately, I just didn't feel like Angel introduced enough of its own stuff to truly stand out. And after the second 2 seasons, it never really hit its stride. There were some other reasons for that I think were out of the show's control. But Dawn's all right. Personally, I think Buffy coming back from the dead and working at a burger joint was odd choice. Just an odd choice.
I don't think I even watched it that long.
No, it's season 6. It's season 6. It's
Yeah.
the musical's great, and then it's like I didn't even really watch season 7, right? So, but
Yeah.
but I get, like I said, I almost went in this direction. It's like your book kind of felt like a little Buffy-esque, or maybe Charmed.
Yeah, and you're not the first person to say that either.
Yeah,
Devin Kane said the same thing when he reviewed. Um, he left a review on uh, Amazon.
that
um, and yeah, he said, yeah, Buffy and I can't even remember the other thing he said, but um, yeah, so yeah, definitely, I guess there is a bit of a vibe there for sure.
yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. Hey, listen, if I'm compared to 2 popular shows, I'm not going to complain. Hey, it's
No.
like this and this.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, oh wow, I never really thought about that, but
you
you
don't when
never
you
see
write it.
your own work the way other people do. So
Well, actually, the terrifying part is when they see stuff you don't. That's actually true. You're like,
mm,
hi. So my first editor in the Cloud Divers, like, actually, my main character goes through a big evolution towards the end of the book, and then my first editor, the one that didn't work out so well, did make a comment. Oh my God, he's a magical girl, and I was like, no, he's. And I looked, and I was like, I have no comment. I can't defend that. Got me, like, just bang.
yeah,
To the
yeah,
point that when I do the sequel, there's actually going to be a magical girl sequence involving him, just in a really fun way, and I'm a very strange man, and I've accepted that.
well, we creatives, we have that weird thing in all of us. I think that sometimes I come up with thoughts and I think, geez, if people actually could see inside my head, I'm sure like they'd be either completely terrified or they'd have me committed.
We're all insane. I've accepted that as a. I'm
Yeah.
not talking creatives. I'm talking people in general. We're all insane. I've accepted it. There are things I don't understand about it and never will. But I'm just not that smart. I just go, you know what? This is just the way it is. I'm not gonna argue. This is what I came to.
Yeah.
I wonder what it actually really looks like sometimes, but this is where I'm at. So that's
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's taken me 30 plus lots of years to kind of, okay, you got to start embracing this because, this is who you are. So
my favorite William Shakespeare quote comes to mind: "Above all else, to thine own self be true."
mm-hmm.
It's the only way to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the
Yeah,
end of the
that's a good one.
day, you gotta live with what you see in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yep.
you know what? It's like, you know what? This is me. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's all we can do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So you're gonna do that second book. You're just gonna do a couple drafts to kind of see if you like it, and then we'll worry about.
Yeah.
I know you're gonna. I'm not gonna tell you don't worry about perfection because you're gonna
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna happen, but yeah, no, one page at a time, and it'll get there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
So
just keep writing, okay? I mean,
I
I
will.
don't mind that you're pimping the book I helped you put together, but I'd like to see more from you because you're great.
Yeah.
You really, really are, and don't feel like never feel you don't belong. Fact is, if you didn't care about your work, you never would have made it to begin with, but you did. So
Yeah.
it's worth something. Just own it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
And you've really have been a huge inspiration, and you've always got great quotes, and your motivation is up there. It's huge.
Well,
So
are you talking about the motivations I do on Facebook?
yeah,
I just make
I
them
love
because I
those.
go, yeah.
I love those.
I just
They're
make
great.
so I did those because I got nominated for the Aurora for the show. It's like, you know what? Good things happen. I'm just going to constantly keep doing them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm saying a lot of the same things, but it's just in times like this, So I guess the way I would put this is, in times of adversity, you know exactly who you are. You learn exactly who you are, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah.
I just wrote a poem up on Facebook actually about kind of what really happened in the very first few days of the whole pandemic and kind of like the decision I made. And I know there's some people that probably read that disagreed wholeheartedly with my answer. But I made the choice of this is who I'm going to be in this time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've tried to stick to it. Good, bad, or indifferent, I've tried to stick to it. Now I'm just becoming bolder because I'm giving far less of a shit as time goes on, because this is getting kind of dumb from where I sit. But that's where I'm at, and it is what it is, right? So that all said, we're not gonna go down COVID therapy today. I think what we should do is talk about your book. Like, why are you relaunching? Actually, I should ask that question. Why are you relaunching?
I'm relaunching because I really want to give it the chance that I don't think I did when I first published. I had not great sales, but I had sales, and they were consistent for a couple of months until I kind of burned through the friends and family thing. And so it was kind of like, I never really got to do anything with it. I've really never done any advertising or marketing or any events or anything with it. And so I actually decided that I actually want to change the size of it, for one thing, because that was one of the things I actually really didn't like about the actual hard copy. Was I went with the default print size on Amazon, which turns out is not the size of the pocketbooks you see in the stores at all. So it's a way skinnier book than I thought that it was going to be. And so I'm like, I want to redo this. And I thought, what better time to redo it than for the anniversary?
Mm-hmm.
And, October is a great time for this genre, obviously. And so, yeah, I just want to give it an opportunity to gain some legs and take off running the way I hoped it would, and that people have told me it should. So,
yeah,
relaunch.
Okay, no, it's fair. I one of the biggest lessons in life I've learned is it's okay. The important thing is the effort, not the result. So if you feel like you haven't did the effort and you get the result, then that's the result it was going to be.
Yeah.
Never leave yourself room to wonder. And I get where you're going.
Yeah.
So good luck. I hope. Let me know what you come up with when you're ready to actually advertise your big event or gala unveiling of the book. I'm very curious what I inspired there. But the book is called Evergreen. So why don't you tell people about that and how people can find you?
Well, it is available. Where am I? Which way am I backwards? So there it is, Evergreen. It is a supernatural thriller, sort of. One comment I had in a review was a homecoming like no other, which I'm hoping the person that left that, I'm hoping they don't mind if I adopt that as a log line for it. But so our main character, Liz, has been away from home for 5 years, went to school. Probably the best way. I'm just going to read the back blurb if that's okay. It's pretty short.
It's okay. Go right ahead.
It's your time. I really like my blurb. So
go read your blurb.
5 years ago, Liz fled her hometown after she and her friends narrowly escaped death at the hands of a demon. 2 days ago, her parents were killed in a car accident, and in order to put them to rest, Liz must return to the town she swore she'd never step foot in again. Now, Liz's sleep is plagued with nightmares, estranged friends are holding grudges, and they all are falling victim to serious, even life-threatening accidents. Somehow, through it all, they have to find a way to work together because the demon is back And this time, Evergreen itself is at risk.
That's right. So if you like demons, witches, haunted cities,
Yes.
this is for you. This is totally for you. I promise.
Yes.
And it's really well written. I swear to God. Right. So, and how can people find you? If they want to get the book, what can they do?
So it is available for print or ebook on Amazon, also on Draft to Digital, which is there's a reader site, books to read, so that's the ebook platform, and you can find it all your favorite ebook sellers. And for those of you who are local in Kelowna, I do have a few copies remaining on the shelves at Chapters in Orchard Plaza.
Very cool. How can people find you? Do you have a website people can go find you at?
The best one is through the Books to Read platform. I've got the links to all the sales platforms on there. I have a blog that hasn't been posted on for quite a while, but that is at Stephanie Galay Writer on WordPress. And I'm on Facebook, Stephanie Galay Author, and on Twitter, Stephanie_Galay.
That's right. I found out it was an underscore right before we came on the
yes,
air,
you
ladies
did.
and gentlemen. And that will do it for this interview of Just Joshing. This is a packed week. This is my last packed week for probably a little bit. I got some really good guests. So for the rest of the week, just so people know, I have Nathan Ray on Tuesday. He's a podcaster. We're going to talk about whatever we're going to talk about. Rodney Fike is back Wednesday. I mean, might see if I can get him to draw some stuff with me. Meredith Logren also coming on Thursday. And Friday is Shawnee O back for some drink and drug goodness. I will be doing Full Metal Alchemist this week. Before I go, I would be remiss not to mention my sponsor, Jennifer Lieberman's Year of the What. If you guys out there want to have your books sponsored, sponsor this podcast, you can contact me at Hold on a second here. I'm just putting my email out there. Yes, that's right. I am going to be drawing Full Metal Alchemist. I already know who I'm going to be drawing. Yes, I'm going to be trying Edward out, but I'm going to be doing a few other people too. I'll let you figure out who my favorite character, but I'm doing Full Metal Alchemist as the drink and draw this Friday. I promise. I'm either doing that or I'm drawing. So okay, I gotta ask this before I go because this is something I don't get about women, and women have to. This is something that I think all of them have to answer. So, for whatever reason, women love skulls. I've just come to this conclusion that women love skulls. And I bring this up because I showed a drawing of my skull I did with another artist on the drink and draw. And my sister goes, if you put a couple more skulls with that, I'll actually want to tattoo it. Looking at her, it's like, really? Yeah. Like, what is the fascination with skulls? Like, I don't, like, I kind of get, like, what is it? Like, what is the actual fascination there?
Oh, I wish I could tell you. I really don't know. I have always been drawn to the dark and macabre. So for me, it's just a natural.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? So I say this because half of me is Maltese, the other half of me is German. So I know this now, and I understand something I did not really understand before. We had these barbaric tendencies of scalping some of our enemies from time to time. Now I understand why, and a very different reason now. This was to impress the women in our lives. This is what this was about. This was not about what we wanted, right? It's like, oh, you killed my enemies and you gave me their skull. I gotta think it has something to do with that, because looking at that now, it's just like, oh my God, like it makes a lot of sense. Like, why would my ancestors behead and scalp things? And I'm like, now I get it. They were trying to impress a chick, and we're just dumb enough. We're just dumb enough to do it. Now, right? We're just dumb enough to do it. And I'm like, would I do that today? Maybe. Right? Right?
Right circumstance, perhaps.
listen, I realized this once. Like, you guys. Oh, okay. I don't I have no. See, I don't know what the girly thing is really. I don't know, but it's even a Halloween thing. This is something I've just noticed with women. It's just yeah. It's like we will kill you. Well, we know this. If we're going to sleep with you, we're a little afraid of you just because we know you could kill us in our sleep. We trust you, kind of, but we're also a little scared. We're also a little scared of you. That's just a wise man thing. That's just being a wise individual.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. It's just like this is one of those things I've noticed. Like, so I might be drawing some skulls on Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I did wear my brand new skull shirt for you, so
yeah,
maybe that's where that's coming from.
Actually, no. I'm being really honest with you. Up until now, that wasn't why. Because I realized that I might be drawing skulls on Friday anyway for my sister for a tattoo, and I'm like, no, I almost was gonna bet. I was almost gonna bet that. It's like you two probably like skulls. I would almost bet money on it. I didn't even notice the shirt, but it's like, okay, I hit a point. Like for you, that was a point.
Oh yeah, no, definitely skulls.
Yeah, no, I've noticed is like women dig skulls. I it's just something I've discovered as I'm older. It's just like I just don't, whatever. I don't understand, and I'm good with it. This is just how it is. One of those shrugs. Move on. I'm sponsored by this month's Year of the What. If you want to actually sponsor this podcast with your event, book, or Kickstarter, michaelthroughtime at live.com. Always looking to sponsor. You'll get a cool little ad on this and also on my audio show. My Twitch channel is Just Joshing Podcast. Click the like, follow button. My YouTube channel is Joshua Penteloresco. Click the like, follow, subscribe button there. Alice Zero is nominated for the Elgin Award this year. It is out now, available at Amazon. Alice 1 is tentatively scheduled for November 1st, but we'll kind of just see how this rest of this month plays out before I make that official. But you will be seeing a pre-order for it pretty soon. Everything else, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay inspired. Keep shining in the dark. Tomorrow I'll be back, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep rocking. Keep rolling. I will be here.
Thanks for having me, Josh.